Hello, everyone. Did I? Right. We'll just have a wee quick check of the. It's always interesting when I see somebody else's like title. I'm like, I want to watch that now. um, right. But I wasn't meant to see it. Maybe it's something that I'll watch after. It'll make sense. Right. It's always interesting when I there. Right. Sound is working. Um. So we'll just. So I hope everyone's all right. I know I said that in the community tab, but I can't believe it's Monday again. I honestly felt like I just done this a few days ago. Totally nuts. Um, right. Hope everyone's keeping cool out there. I know it's very hot. We've got some members in England, and I know, well, I've just been told it's 33 there. We thought we were hard up with 23, and you've got 33, which in America, people, I think is that in the hundreds? I don't know. I'm crap at working that out. You can tell me. Um, I'm just putting in the wee dates. One of these times I'll have sorted that out. Sometimes I have sorted it out before I come on, but even when I sort it out, it doesn't seem to be. I've just deleted too much now. Fuck. I'm just going. I think I could actually, if I could fit in. Oh fuck! Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. Oh wait a minute, I'm going to have to copy and paste that again. Also, I've not checked if they're right, the conversions. So if they're wrong, they're wrong. I'm sure it would just be, it wouldn't be good for me rather than the other way around. Um, right, there we go. Before I fuck about it anymore. So that is the wee link that if you want a personal message, I will do them either during or after I finish the collective message. Um, and yeah, obviously, if I pick up on a loved one in spirit, I just roll with it. Sorry, I'm burping already. That's when I'm clearing energy. And I'll just roll with it. And if I happen to pick up on a loved one in spirit that you're connecting with, then obviously you don't need to, you don't need to pay for that or anything. Although, like I said, it's always welcome because it goes towards helping the channel and keeping me doing all of this for free. But yeah, if you personally want me to tune into you for 15 or 30 minutes, which isn't always guaranteed that I'm going to pick up on a loved one in spirit, um, but yeah, that's what they're for. They're for whenever I'm live. But and that's the same with my personal reading too. Do you know what I mean? You never know who's, but you'll always get a message that you need. Um, right. So let's just set it for an hour because I've got to do the other one too. How will I celebrate? The problem I have every time I get to this bit. What's the examples? I'll stream again on Friday. I'll put that because that is my plan. I'm actually streaming right after that. Actually, I'll stream again on Wednesday because I'm doing that anyway. So it's kind of, but at least it's something to write. Like I said, when we've got more people, I will use that in a better way. I'll make it more fun. But while there's not that many people, like basically we'll just celebrate if anyone donates full stop. Do you know what I mean? But like, so, um, Right. So I'm hugging a pillow right now because usually I put a wee blanket on, but obviously it's fucking roasting and I couldn't be bothered going to get the blanket, so I just put the pillow in front of me, and it's just in case I need, I drop a card, I need to bend down or anything. It's just I've got my shorts on, so I'm just like, you can't see anyway, but it's just so that I feel you'll probably see the top of the pillow sometimes, and that's fine. So let's start with these. So what was quite interesting was I saw the declutter card in my third eye. And because I always associate Virgo, oh, wait a minute, I'm frozen right now. Oh shit, wait a minute, why do I keep doing that? Wait a minute, I'm just going to refresh it all together and then. Oh, that's weird. It froze me and I was like pointing to my third eye. So maybe you need to pay attention to what your intuition is telling you, what your clairvoyance is telling you, or what the clairvoyant is telling you. But you may be clairvoyant too. We all are. Um, right. Yeah, basically, I'll just put that down there just now. I always associate Virgo energy, and we're in Virgo moon right now, with decluttering and detoxing. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if that declutter card is going to come out, and it did. But also tomorrow, the South Node in Virgo is conjunct the Moon in Virgo. So I think in the UK, like, don't quote me on this, but I think it's sometime mid-morning, lunchtime. But again, so it's technically it's not really till tomorrow, but I'm going to talk about that energy tonight to prepare you for it. Um, so also the 12th of July could be significant. The ages 32 or 40 could be significant because they're on these cards, or that would then be 3, 5, or reduce that to a 4. All these dates could be significant, or numbers in some way. But yeah, so we've got declutter, objects hold energies, let go of no longer aligned. And what I actually want to do is I want to read these ones from the book tonight. Um, and then I pulled remove the split. I actually pulled this one first. Remove the splinter. Locate the core issue. Help is available to you. And that kind of makes me laugh because I watched Look Who's Talking at the weekend, which is just like it's completely one of my favourites. But yeah, there's a scene where she's got a bit of wood from hitting him with a broom stuck in her finger. So it's quite a funny scene, but that just came to mind there. And so again, I kind of I'm just wondering. I was asking them, are you making me see that in my clairvoyance because it's going to be relevant? So just in case it's relevant, like that whenever I see things to do with Luke who's talking, usually it is about these twin flame dynamics where you are very well. All twin flames are very different, like yin yang. But because there is that kind of running theme through the first one and even through the second and I can't remember the third one really, but of how different they are. But it's just like I said, that it's one of my favorite because it's the chemistry. Do you know what I mean? I just love the chemistry. Because again, I've said that before that there's something about it's hard to describe, but there's something about whenever I watch that, I'm always like, it swaps in about who do I think is who. It doesn't really matter because it's bit like just sometimes from the far distant memories that I have of my own twin flame, I'm like, that's quite funny because the way that they kind of bicker and argue is like they're different, but actually it's like they're saying the same thing. But yeah, locate the core issue. Help is available to you, so we'll see what that says too. I don't know I think I will have probably read it at some point, but like if I've read it, it's been on here basically because I don't bother reading these things on my own. I probably should, but I don't. Although remember, I did say another medium said that to me like 15, 20 years ago now or something, like don't read the books because they hold you back. Took it a bit literally. Crystalline abundance, align with knowing all your needs are met. So let's go with the declutter one first. Oh, and then also I did pick up these two, so we'll see how this comes into it. But I feel for a few people watching this, there could be something about like it feels like there's something about so maybe this is a collective message. Again, I don't know if this is going to be like homing in on people specifically or if this is more collective, but it's something about the way that your frequency is changing and the way that you're changing and growing you're basically no longer aligning with the people around you. Now, this could have been people that you've been had around you for a long time. Like friends, could even be you're not seeing eye to eye with family, it could be like lovers, whatever it is, it could be like certain work that you've done, you're no longer aligning with, you don't feel like this is you anymore. And also I feel that, there could be some of you that are dealing with some type of addiction, whatever that might be. So I'll just read these cards I pulled though. Law of attraction. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. Heal away addictions. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. So I really do feel, there is, like I said, like in everything that I do, the angels are always around helping me to heal, in my, well, basically, yeah, in my private sessions, but on here too. So, with the mention of Archangel Raphael specifically, nah, those cards are on the floor. But I used Dame Millery. That was actually quite a beautiful session that we done where it was like, there was Jesus energy was very strong and Archangel Raphael and stuff. But Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. So I feel there is very strong healing energy coming in tonight with it, and definitely just in the energies in general, like I said, when the moon aligns with the south node as well, to be able to release the past. So I feel just like this card says, some of you might resonate that actually these two cards feel like, you could be hanging around like a group of people or one person in particular that keeps you in an addiction. Now, personal responsibility, guys, you can't blame other people for your own behavior, but like I say all the time, you become like the 5 people you spend the most time around. So I do feel that this is really going to speak to some of you that that like you're never going to be able to combat that certain addiction if you hang out with so and so or you hang out with this group of people. So it depends how bad this addiction is. Um, Say for instance, to go a bit differently, like if it's an addiction to like some type of social media, then you're the only one that can stop that. Like maybe you need to leave your phone on the dining room table, or you need to leave it in the living room, like rather than that being the first thing you pick up and scroll in the morning because it sets off your day. You know what I'm saying? It's and again, we can all take that. I mean, I can take that too. Like I always have a vision of doing that and I don't do it, you know what I mean? Like but again, my life's been totally nuts for like all of this year because I've not been sleeping in my bedroom, you know what I mean? So it's like that's my excuse. But when I was sleeping in my bedroom, was I leaving the phone in the dining room? Well, the kitchen's got like my table. No, I wasn't. You know what I mean? But I always thought I'd quite like to do that. I'd quite like to get in the habit of leaving the phone in the other room. So we'll aim for it, guys. Goals. Right, I'll put them there and see if they come out again though. So, like I said, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to come and join me. We'll just go with the flow, but I'm just going to drink my tea, which will be cold, but it's a nice one. So it's a bit warm. That is nice. That'll be like diluting juice when it cools down. Right. So, right. Let's get comfy and read these. Right. So declutter 40. Oh, oh my God. Look how big that book is. And I just opened up it, removed the splinter, which remember that was the first one that came out. Oh, okay. I guess we'll read that then. So, come on, Soul family, if you need to hear this. That's wait a minute. What do we hold up? Will I just hold them all up? Or maybe actually, where's that card? Don't think the writing's very. If that's at the right side. The moment of truth. Let's just see. No, it's the fucking wrong side. I always do that. It's the wrong side for the thumbnail, you see. Right, so I think it's here. It's just, hello, Diane. Right. So I'm happy to be your radio tonight. Remove this. I've covered my face a little bit, but I've not got time to fucking piss about here. Right, so remove the splinter. Locate the core issue. Help is available to you. Now, another thing that's cool about that is Virgo Moon right now is about the helper. It's about the helper, the healer, health, healing, lots of other things, but that's what sticks out at me with that. So explore and bring awareness to how places and moments of disease within yourself take you out of your center. To support more light and joy in each moment of every day, surely it's helpful to be aware of what is getting in the way of this. Use triggered moments to discover the themes you can look at. Keep a list on your phone or somewhere else handy. That's funny when I was just been saying that about the phone. When triggers come up, know that you have tools and protocols for neutralizing them. Once you discover a splinter, you're at the first stage of healing. You don't need to know how it got there. By removing the splinter, a large amount of energy will be returned to you. Oh, very interesting. So, this card indicates that it's time to locate any core wounding related to the situation at hand. It inspires you to find the metaphorical splinter, which again, Mercury opposite Pluto that we've had, well, we've still got that, and Mercury in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius right now is good for that. And again, like I said in the video yesterday, I know that because I've got Mercury opposite Pluto. My Mercury's in Taurus, my Pluto's in Scorpio, so super detective mode. This energy is good for stuff like that. So it inspires you to find the metaphorical splinter. It may have been in there for a long time, so it might be hard to imagine freeing that aspect of yourself. But again, that's why I really love these cards, because they're just very well matched with all the different ways that I can help people with the different modalities. And this is about to talk about one of the ways that I help people, which is quite interesting because that's the part of my work that I'm working on. So give me a bit of time, guys, because I might get around to do it this week, but if not this week, next week, where I'm going to do some things around this in the membership, even just on the shorts. But emotional freedom technique tapping. A very powerful way of doing this is through having some EFT tapping sessions, which, if you didn't already know, that is what I do for people as well in personal sessions. EFT is a combination of ancient Chinese acupressure and modern psychology. Amongst its other healing benefits, EFT helps you to rewire your response and neutralize the charge from painful, unresolved experiences that you've been carrying. I personally have found EFT revolutionary, bit of trouble saying that, in neutralizing these splinters that I was aware I had. See the EFT exercise later. Mars is on my Mercury retrograde. I'm holding my tongue. All right, yes, might be wise to do that. Especially because tonight, actually, I'm surprised I didn't put that in the title. But I think it's because it's technically tomorrow. I thought it's today, but I think it's actually tomorrow. We're in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde in Leo this week. So, like I said, it's either tonight or tomorrow. I think it's actually technically tomorrow. So maybe that's why I didn't put it in the title. So here we go, guys. Again, it's not until mid-July, the retrograde, but the pre-shadow, you can start to see the annoyances as well. But like I always say, I was born with Mercury retrograde, and sometimes things can go even better for you if you've got Mercury retrograde. You've got that too, Diane, haven't you? So, don't think it's all doom and gloom. If you're wanting somebody to come back from the past, well, be careful what you wish for. It might just happen. But you can also get other people come back from the past that you don't want to hear from, or people looking for closure. So, and it's a good time to slow down and reorganize and do all the re's. Again, I think it's because I'll talk more about that tomorrow. See the EFT exercise later in this card message for guidance you can apply immediately. Okay, we might do that, we might not. So, working deeper with the shadows, lovingly bringing shadows into the light of day can heal many of them. However, some are more sticky, more deeply ingrained, or have more trauma around them. Now, that's significant because, like I always say, Cancer season that we're in right now, in the fourth house, which is also Cancer energy, so you might want to look to where that is in your actual chart. That is about trauma. So, you know, it's about loads of lovely things, cozy cuddle, cups of tea, family, soul family, although it can be wounds with family, soul family too. Mother healing, the feminine energy, healing your own feminine energy, anything, dealings with other females, whether you're male or female. Wait a minute. That top's getting a bit fresh. Again, I do like this style, but I don't even think it's that bad. It's just, again, see, this is having Saturn in the first house, man. It just makes me too serious. You know what I mean? Other people are out there with their tits fully out, and I'm just like, because it's peeking in, I'm like, oh dear. Anyway, so it's quite funny. Right. You can become aware of the themes you're called to heal by looking at what triggers you. Triggers are wonderful awareness tools that support you in healing areas of inner dissonance in your deeper subconscious. It can be helpful to note down the trigger right after experiencing it. Just a short description or a few words that will jog your memory. They fucking annoyed me. If you don't write it down, you will most likely forget. It's curious how it works this way. For a moment, your subconscious reveals itself. Normally, our subconscious is hidden and we have less or no awareness of it compared to our consciousness. It's a little bit like when I've said before as well, right? Like if you're trying to brainstorm, right, it's quite good. And it was funny, whenever I said that, I can't remember where I said that. I said 30 minutes and no, yeah, I said 60 minutes instead of 60 seconds, right? Or even 30 seconds, 30 minutes. But just for 30 seconds or 60 seconds, I would say a minute, just brain dump all the things that are coming to you and like, you know, that are specifically with this, what's triggering you, and it'll be true. You know what I mean? It's like before you can get in there and start analyzing it, just, you know, it's quite a good trick to just sort of do that before everything else kicks in. So it's a little bit like when I've shared loads of stories, right? That whenever I'm doing a Zoom or an in-person healing, out of politeness, if it's the first session, I'll chat with people for a while, you know, just like you see me doing now. We'll have our eyes open and I'll hear what it is they feel they've come to me for help with. But then after a period of time where I feel we've done that for enough, I'll ask if they're okay with closing their eyes. Because to be quite frank, when people have got their eyes open, they're still in their conscious mind and they've got people, we hold a front, you know, we've got this front that we hold up to people. Whereas I find when you close the eyes, you know, you go more into that sort of private space. It does, you know, it entails more trust. So when it's with people that are very used to what I do, you know, they know how it works. But if someone's brand new, I'll kind of gauge it. But I'm even telling you what I would do, you know, and it's just amazing like how much more people connect with their feelings just by closing their eyes. It's a little bit like I'm kind of seeing like, you know, if you were connecting with somebody, I suppose it would, yeah, romantically, like, you know, and it was like, and it's a dark room and somebody just starts opening up to you, it does feel safer, you know what I mean? Like in the dark when you just wake up or something in the middle of the night, you can't sleep, or in the morning, or, you know, whatever, it's like it's anywhere that just sort of closes that, you know, conscious mind to overthinking and stuff and gets you more into your heart. It's powerful. And it's good to calm your nervous system as well, you know what I mean? From all that activity. Um, right. So I'll read this bit after I just read this. Um, yes, they can. It's my normal. Yeah, I'm trying very hard not to call in the past. It's very strong for me right now. Oh, did you see that? That's what I picked up on in the membership. That was happening for quite a lot of people. So that's quite interesting because when I tuned in, that's exactly what I said. Yes, but again, you'll know that you know this, but for everyone else, that is because cancer is also the past. So, yeah, it's, you know, and so not only is cancer the past, so things of the past could be coming up for healing, but also Mercury retrograde takes us back to the past too, like blasts from the past. So, and like I said, that could be a great thing for some of you, but it might not be, you know, it might be a mixture because you could have people from your past that you don't want to hear from. So, right. It's going to be dramatic either way. With it being in Leo, it won't be boring. So, the subconscious might be hidden from our personal awareness, but it's a very powerful place where many of the behaviors and patterns that direct our life come from, including those of sabotage. The subconscious governs reactions and automatic behaviors. Once you have awareness of one or more of the splinters you would like to neutralize, you can go ahead and find a reputable practitioner of EFT tapping. Hello there, look no further. You can also explore areas in your life if you feel confronted, sorry, but also look for people and situations that contributed to it, because I did say contributed. You can also explore areas in your life you feel confronted by on your own. Below is an example of an EFT exercise. I'm just reading this to see if this can translate. Oh, right. Okay, actually, I will read this one. Right. And I just want to check something before, because I can never remember what's what. Um, right, so yes, but what is that for? Right. So, oh no, I've lost it again. Wait a minute. Might just. Right. Okay. So, like I said, this is stuff that I can. This is stuff that I, as part of my work, that I don't know why. I just have to. I tend to just keep this to my private clients when it even comes up. But for this card to have even come up, it's kind of blown my mind. Actually, it's an amazing sign of the way in which they want me to be sharing more of my work, even if that is just in the membership. Because, like I said, yeah. Anyway, but I'm sure even if I do that in the membership, I'll do it here sometimes. But just quickly, because I'm sure lots of people watching, you will already be aware of tapping, right? It is amazing. I personally do find it very powerful, like for myself, and I should do it more actually. But I find it really, really powerful when I work with people too. Like, for instance, there's one of the interviews, I totally call that an interview, but whatever, chats that I done with Lexi actually, where she did speak about me helping her with tapping. I'm sure she did briefly speak about that. I could put that below if I can find which one it is. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to read one of the statements because I feel the actual example could be very significant for quite a few people. In fact, I'll read both examples, right? So the one that I always found personally that I had the most reaction to was this one, right? This point, which I was just checking there, like this is connected to shame, right? Um, so like I said, just to reiterate, if I was doing this with you one to one, we would go through all the different points and I would make it around what you tell me personally is bothering you, right? And this is the bit that I really make the EFT my own. I mix it in with all the other different parts of the healing that I do. But the bit that I'm kind of like either or about is whenever something's a sliding scale of 1 to 10, I'm like, I don't even know what to fucking say to answer. You know, when if someone's doing that to me, I don't know what to say. So if you're the same as me, but basically you're meant to um, you know, rate how strong you're feeling about something from 1 being very weak to 10 being extremely strong. So you could, although I'm going to use these examples, you could think of something for yourself right now. So if I put to you, how strongly is this thing bothering you? So because I'm choosing this point, right? Why don't we actually fuck? I can actually see how that could be a look, because look, heal away addictions. That's no coincidence. They're getting me to do that. Nothing's ever a coincidence. So say you have identified some type of addiction you've got, however strong, or whatever. If it's an addiction, it's strong. What I mean is, if it's alcohol, drugs, rock and roll, sex, smoking, chocolate, Love Island. That's such as mine. You know, I'm not addicted to Love Island though, because I wouldn't get any work done if I was. Do you know what I mean? I sit here and do this and I miss it every night. But you know what I'm saying? Social media, blah blah blah. But again, I feel, you know, pick something that might bring up shame for you. And again, this is private, so you don't need to, obviously, just you'll know for yourself. So I'm just going to use the example thing, right? But just think about how, think to yourself, how strong are you feeling shame around this feeling, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, right? So now I'm going to read one of the examples, right? So we've got here, even though I feel an emotional charge around the relationship with my brother, I deeply and completely accept myself. So I always say like love and accept myself, because I would sort of make it more Louise Hay-ish. But right, so even though I feel an emotional charge around the relationship with my brother, I deeply and completely accept myself. So you can change brother to sister, or mum, or dad, or cousin, or boss. You know what I'm saying? Twin flame. Why don't we do twin flame? That fits more. That fits more. Even though, oh my god, that really fits, doesn't it? Even though, even though I feel an emotional charge around the relationship with my soul brother, with my twin flame, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, guys, I'm not being funny. This is quite risky, because this can bring up a lot of emotion. Like, if you went through them all, but even just doing that bit, this is the bit I find the most powerful. Like that point. I don't know why. So anyway, you can, as you bear. I'm just interested, because I'm doing it quickly, you know, if any of you actually find a shift, even just me doing it quickly. So, because technically, a lot of people could, because it's light code activations too. Because I have done this before. It was ages ago. I've done a few shorts like that, and that's basically what I'm going to do in the membership. And then if I can get my act together to be more organized, I put some of this stuff in public too. But yeah, here's another one. So this is more the one that I felt could be where a lot of people are, because of what I've tuned into with the shorts. Because I did the one, basically the one I filmed for tomorrow. There's definitely some karmic breakups going on big time, because all the cards I pulled out were about people leaving. So it'll be interesting if that comes out in the one after this too. And then even the card saying declutter. But yeah, and then look at the example that happens to have come out. Even though I feel anxiety about breaking up with my partner, I deeply and completely accept that this is the right course of action. So again, you don't need to tap on that if that's not your story, but I do feel for a lot of people it is. Even though I feel anxiety about breaking up with my partner, keeping in mind that this one's about shame, right? This point. So you might feel bad about doing that. I deeply and completely accept that this is the right course of action. And I love and accept myself. You know what I mean? It's just generally along these things. So, yeah. And then she's just going in to explain all of that. But that's so interesting that that's come up. So, now what we do technically, just imagine we're in a personal session of this and we've tapped on all the different points, right? Then I would get you to assess the intensity that you felt before we done it to how you feel now. And basically, whenever I do that myself, or whenever I've done that with anyone else, I'm not the best of example, but in a great way, because usually people, it can go from something like an extreme to like a 10 right down to a 0, or like a 10 to a 2 or something. And the goal isn't always that, by the way. It doesn't need to be that extreme. It's just like I said, I feel it's just because they weave it in with everything else that I do. Which is why, actually, if I'm honest, it's why I don't do the EFT a lot. You know what I mean? Because I don't need to do the specific way they do it. But I personally get a bit bored of, you know what I mean? It's quite cool for me. Like if somebody actually does book a session, they're like, could I have I'm interested in the tapping. Could we do that? I'd be like, fuck yeah, we can do it. It mixes it up for me. Do you know what I mean? So it's good for specific things, you know. But it's like they'll only tell me to do that with someone if it pops in my head, or if you ask me. So that's why why it's come up. So basically, yeah. So I'm just the way she's describing it is quite good. So when you try to reconnect with original memory, it should feel different to you. Check if the intensity is now zero or if you need to create a new setup statement that has layers of the issue peeled back even further. Because when you set up your own statements that are personal to you, these deeply personal statements will, you know, they will fit more you. But basically, like, honestly, I cannot tell you in my personal life, some things that I've done tapping around, like it changed my mindset so much. It's crazy. You know what I mean? That my life could have went a total different way. And because I focused and I pushed through the bits of me that are like, that's never gonna happen, or good stuff doesn't happen to me, and I pushed it away, and then the good stuff did happen. So I can elaborate about that more when I write my book actually, but or in a personal session or something. But yeah, you can repeat this process several times as needed until the emotional reaction has significantly diminished. So, just for anyone that didn't maybe know a little bit about it, but not drizzle peanut butter. All right, is that your addiction? Yes. I wonder how. I wonder why that's happened. I actually had that this morning. No, I didn't. It was mixed into I had overnight oats because I go through a phase, right? I've said this before, but I love overnight oats, right? But see, after you've had it for about 3 weeks, it can be so boring. But anyone that's never had that, right? Like seriously, I'm not kidding. Like I got up and I had that, and like I basically didn't eat till tea time. Like it was, I don't know. I suppose I was trying to work out. I suppose I didn't have it that early. I woke up early and I went back to sleep. But see, I think I had about midday, and I honestly didn't feel hungry till about like 6 o'clock or something. So it is crazy, like how oats keeps you feel like that. Um, but yeah, I know what I was doing. I was drizzling what are they called? That's so annoying. I don't know what they're called. It's like these wee cracker things they're not really hardly any calories, and they're shit on their own. You wouldn't eat it on your own. It tastes like cardboard. But like I quite like the texture of it, like more than I would like a rice cake or something like that. And I just drizzled that in quite a cool little design. Boring fact there, Diane, but that's what I done. So if you want to find out what those crackers are, I could go searching to see. But right, so let's read the declutter one now. So 40. We've got to look out for the mic dying too, because I did film another one before it. So declutter. Objects hold energies. Let go of no longer aligned. Oh yeah. So if I didn't say that bit, yeah, I did say that bit, didn't I? That it's not the same because it's not one to one. But if you did tap on something specifically for you, even just if it was that bit, and then you checked in with like, right, how do I feel about how ashamed I feel now about myself, or however you'd want to word it, you know, check in with, are you still feeling it's like a strong 8 or something, or is it a little bit less? Just generally, but like I said, it might not translate very well because it's just an example. But it's just I do feel, you know, I think it's just to spark interest with some of you that don't know about that, you know, because again, you can, like, you don't need to do that you don't need to do that in a personal session with me. You could just go and watch things on YouTube about that. Like I said, effectively, I should be one of the people on YouTube doing that, and maybe that will be at some point. You know, maybe I will do one of them for. I'll at least do one of them for you. Do you know what I mean? That's been my goal. I just do all the other stuff. Do you know what I mean? But again, I think that is I'm gonna do that in the membership first. I think is where I was gonna plan to do that with people. So even just wee ones. So objects hold energies. Let go of no longer aligned. Drawing this card is a call to declutter your space, clean your environment. All right, fuck's sake, tidying things away, and consider objects you're not using, and if you really need them. Bring a sense of clarity to your home, and you will feel it in your mind and energy. Cleaning house. If you're moving into a new phase of growth and transformation, you may notice your material needs are different. Objects, places, and spaces hold memories. Check if there are things that remind you of times when you were in a different vibration or frequency. Find them a new home. But this is related to, right? If people have watched the video that I filmed yesterday, and if you haven't, just briefly, what I said was there's an area in my living room, right, that I've piled up loads of different cards and, well, just basically it was just piled up with different cards and, you know, the affirmations that I read every day. And when I worked out, I thought, like, you know, I'm not going to lie, a lot of times it could be sitting like that for a couple of months at a time. But what I worked out was that had actually been like that for like 6 months. You know what I mean? So, you know, I felt like what the message was in that, you know, because this is like one of the many books that I write. One of them is going to be about clutter and the connection to emotions and everything. And, you know, just, you know, basically I've said that for years. It's just going to be all the things I notice. But what I noticed is for me personally, that had to have been representing something within me for me to have left that for that long. And, you know, that's for me to probably, I'm not a big journaler, you know, I'm not going to lie, guys. If you are, it's great to do that. But I'm more, would be good to probably talk about it with someone and be like, oh, yeah, I think that's what it was about. But I'll probably just sit actually and meditate and get still with that, and maybe just make a few notes to myself. But, you know, that definitely would have been representing something that was stuck within me. And all I know is now that I, you know, took everything off and cleared it and, you know, cleaned it and stuff, and then I've put stuff back neatly, I do feel better for it. So, you know, sometimes you can do that and you might not think too deeply about it. You might not be that type of person, but I bet you'll have a shift in your life. And again, what that could simply just be as well is the feng shui of it all. Sorry, there's kids shouting outside. I don't know if the mic picks up. But um like, you know, and again, that is another thing I can help you with if you don't already know yourself. A lot of people do is things to do with feng shui. You know, when you do change up the energy in your home and even just corners of your room, it is amazing the energy shifts that you can have, like abundance wise, because the other card is abundance. Like for instance, now that I'm saying that, there's a shelf in my kitchen that it's a mantelpiece that I really need to do that with, because when I done that before, I did notice there was like a huge shift in my finances, and I haven't done it for ages. So actually, I think it is calling me to do that. But again, this is an example not just for me. It's like, think about that for you. Is there an area in a particular room in your house, or is there an area in your house that seems to accumulate a pile of stuff more than other places? And if you say no, I'm going to think that you're lying, because most of the people that tune into me have also got ADHD. Not everyone, but quite a lot of them. Come on, let's be honest. Or you've got at least some tendency to, you know, have clutter about. Probably quite a few piles of clutter. So, you know, but pick one area that you're like, yeah, why am I just piling all that stuff there? Like, you know, and maybe just if you dare to go a bit deeper, could you maybe even just sit quietly and be like, what is that connected to? Let's just do that. I want to just change up, you know, with these cards, because it's inspired that in me. Let's just assume you don't overthink it. Just pick an area in a room or somewhere in your home where you're like, yep, I'm looking at it right now, or I can see it in my mind's eye somewhere else in the house. That's where I do that, right? And I just want you to imagine what it would feel like if that was tidy. So again, with me wording it like that, you might want to pick somewhere that's just kind of like so for instance, it's I can put myself back in the position of now, just to, you know, to give you a visual, this is so tiny. Like this table's like, I think it's like a wee old IKEA one or something, but it's like, you know, it's just a square, like quite a low down square table. And then I've got my wee taro cloth over it. But so it's just a great, perfect size for doing my wee, you know, readings with the phone looking at it. Or just like I said, putting the cards beside me, you know, as extra cards. But what I end up doing is I end up piling up loads of cards and it just gets a big mess. And for all I know is it was just that's my energy was just so bogged down with whatever that was connected to that. Just every time, like even, and I've got loads of free time that I can do that. You know, I could tell myself I'm too busy with clients, or I'm too busy with the live streams, or I'm too busy with this, I'm too busy with that. Do you know what I mean? Or I could be like, oh, I can't do it now, it's the weekend. You know what I mean? So I know that although I'm picking on myself here, you think what things you tell, what stories do you tell yourself of the reasons why you can't give up that addiction? No, I can't give up smoking. I get really stressed and that helps me. Or I can't give up drinking. I'm not going to be able to socialize with the same people. Or I can't give up, Instagram. Like, that's where my friends hang out. I can't, I don't know, all the different things, right? But yeah, I just want you to get still and just imagine what it would feel like. Or you could even imagine yourself picking up the stuff off of that area, right? So just actually walk through it in your mind that you're getting your phone or you're getting your timer. I'm looking at my timer about to go off. I'll put more time in it. But you're setting a wee timer on your phone or a timer for 25 minutes, the Pomodoro technique, and just visualize yourself tidying that space up, however you would do that, right? And maybe you've picked a place in your room or your house which wouldn't even take that long to do it, and you've just been put off. And this is my point. It's not a logical thing, because like that didn't take long yesterday. Like I literally tidied that up in like 10-15 minutes. So why was I like putting that off for that long? That's my point. That must have been connected to something, some kind of block going on within me, right? So it's not always a reason. It's not always like you can't always reason it away or logic, make it logical. And sometimes you might not even know, like, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm about to do because I'm doing it for you. I'm actually just going to get still and ask what that was connected to for me, and then you can do that for whatever you're doing. So just imagine you're picking up all the stuff. You're only imagining doing it just now, right? And just imagine you've maybe popping it up, you're quickly doing it all, whatever it is you're doing. And now just really get a strong sense of how amazing it feels seeing that place clear of all that clutter. It's clean, it's not got clutter on it. You might have put things back on the table or whatever you're imagining, but it's practical use, Again, it's Virgo moon right now too. It's practical magic, It's the practical use of what that space is for, rather than a dumping ground. Just really just tune in to how good that feels. And now keeping your eyes closed, because again, I'm just going to assume, although, there's not many people here tonight. Yeah, I know that. Why is it telling me that? Sorry, the laptop's telling me weird shit here. I'm just going to assume that people are watching this live or on the replay, right? So just imagine you've tidied it up. You're feeling good about yourself because it's back to how it should be. I don't like shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it's back to being used for what looks nice, what's useful, all the kind of things like that. Does this spark joy? No, it doesn't spark joy when it's a heap of shit. Oh, it sparks joy. It looks tidy and it's useful. Do you know what that kind of gist? So, closing your eyes, I want you to imagine a swirling tornado of sagey mist above the top of your head. And this is swirling above the top of your head, and it's going down over your upper chakras, down over your third eye, which has just been working hard to imagine you tidying up that space that you're going to actually tidy up. And then going down, all the way down over your body, over your other chakras, down over your heart. Where I feel with me homing in on the heart, there could have been some kind of block at the heart there for somebody watching this. And it goes all the way down to your feet, whirling away all the crap that you no longer need, the limiting beliefs or the stagnant energy or other people's stuff that they might have projected at you, like, other people's shitty energy, because other people do that, unfortunately. Some mean it and some don't. Just let it all go. Release, release, release down to the bottom of Mother Earth, whatever you imagine that to be. And I want you to cut the cords to the old earth of fear, lack, negativity, to the old you that was keeping these places messy and cluttered up. Keeping the lessons, letting go of the pain and the stuck feeling and whatever the stuck emotion was. And now we connect the new strong chords to the new earth of peace, calm, abundance, balance of your masculine, feminine energy. That's so interesting because the last card I've got to read after this is abundance. I didn't think about that. So now pull up from the new earth whatever you feel you need. And specifically for this task, we're needing the strength, you're needing the strength to literally tidy up whatever area it was you just imagined. I feel some of you actually could have imagined, like I'm seeing somebody imagining like it looks like accounts or something, like your finances, like maybe all of your accounts, you own your own business, or if it's not your own business, it's just, something, I don't know, keeping track of things, numbers and bits of paper. Maybe that's what was all kind of a mess and that's what you're going to be tidying up. So I don't know who that's for, but I'm getting kind of that feeling for someone as well. So whatever it is, so you're pulling up that strength from the new earth energy, that belief that whatever I was doing before, or however long I've left that, months, because like I said, I'm not carrying that shame about that. I did leave that like that for 6 months. You know what I mean? Because again, to me, it's not that bad. It's piled up cards, but actually it is because they get all dusty. Like I had to dust the ring light and everything like that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of reminding me, like, all right, I want to kind of keep on top of that from now on. I don't want that to sit like that because I put it there for a reason, because it's handy to have another wee workstation. So pulling that up, the intention that you're going to tidy this space, that you need to sort out whatever wording you would use for it. And now, before we open our eyes, we're just going to set the intention that at the next possible opportunity where you can spare just 25 minutes, that you're going to dedicate that 25 minutes to tidying up that space, even if you don't get it all done, even if you're like, Claire, it's a fucking nightmare, I don't think you know what part what part I imagined in my house. And I'm like, believe me, I feel your pain. That would be my office for me, my office of hundreds and hundreds of cards. But I might choose to work on the other bit of cards that need tidying down there. But you know what I'm saying? There's places in my house that would, other people might be able to do things in 25 minutes. For me, it's not really, not everywhere I could do. Some places I can. Like I said, the example I gave, I did done that in less than that. But that's the point. I did set the timer yesterday for 25 minutes. And it didn't even take that. So I feel it's about clearing, decluttering people's excuses, that you can dedicate time to working on healing this addiction, because it is that for some people, or combating that self-sabotage that you've recognized in yourself, or combating that clutter that isn't just clutter, it's connected to some kind of stuck emotion. So whatever it means to you. So I'm now just going to leave you with that feeling of you knowing that you're going to pick the time, you're going to write in your diary, or you're going to make a promise to yourself, and you're going to do it. And if you can do it tonight or tomorrow, extra brownie points, because if you can do it when the moon is in Virgo, you will be getting pushed by the energy, which will help you tidy something up. It will help you clean something, tidy and clean. I don't know what different things people have organized, organize as well. Like I said, if it's paperwork and stuff, great for organizing. So you're not making a promise to me, you're making a promise to yourself. It's only if you wanted to take part in this. Nobody's forcing you. But what I would ask is, if you did do this, and you found any of this helpful, please come back and put it in the comments, because I think that would be quite a nice thing to do. And then I might make this more of a regular thing. It's nice to have that accountability that, that helped you. Right, okay, so. Or email. If you're extra shy, you can email. But let's just, for now, let's not run before we can walk. So we're just imagining it, but you are going to do it. I believe in you, because I believe in myself, and I done that shit, and I told you how long it was sitting for. So, and it's just a small, again, that's a little thing that, honestly, I've got so many friends that could tidy that up in fucking 2 minutes, never mind 20 minutes, 10 minutes. But that's them, that's not me. And so that's what I'm acknowledging about some of you. If some of you have also got ADHD like me, or ADHD and lots of other things, because like I said, I've not just got ADHD, I've got a lot of things that I mentioned that, you know what I mean, but try to home in on this. And some of you will have lots of different things going on. Some of you could be grieving right now, and you know it's a chore to even get up in the morning, let alone go and do the housework and the dishes and whatever else. And so we just don't know what is going on with other people. So, but before we open our eyes, I'm just going to count from 1 to 10, and I just want you to really sit with that feeling of having the vision of that space being the way you want it to be. Forget the way it is, visualize the way you want it to be, and tell yourself, I can do that. I can at least try to do that. Okay? Right, so ready to come back now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Thinking about opening your eyes. 1. Opening your eyes. Wide awake, wide awake. Now I'm going to read the rest of this, and it'll be quite funny if it says anything similar to what I've just channeled there, but usually that's what happens. If you're moving into a new phase of growth, did I read that bit actually? No, I did read that bit. For objects that especially hold energies like crystals, have a cleansing session. Clear all your crystals. Clear all your crystals. Crystal clear visions. That's hilarious. Create more spacious airflow in your home. Having things organised creates clarity of mind and efficiency. You could be getting a wee text in there because you cleared the energy. See what I mean? So it's working already. You can find everything more easily. You can go to your wardrobe and know what you want to put on and feel great. Another cool synchronicity is, yes, I did actually do. I've got so many clothes. I've said this before. I've got so many clothes that takes like a whole day or more, or like days to sort out. Or I tell myself that. But that's what I done today with energy. I thought, oh, I've got like most of the day. Like Mondays are my day off until I do this, right? And even if I didn't want to do this, I just wouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? I would I'd do a pre-recorded video for you, but I like doing these live. I've got into a routine, also Virgo moon, of doing this. So, but yeah, I've been putting off organising my clothes, but I've done that today. I took all the clothes off in my, because I've got a hanger in my room because it's better. Again, you know, this is interesting because I'm noticing. I feel like, again, although I can do this in public too, because I'm doing it in public, I feel they're homing in on things like some of the stuff that I've got my plans for the upper levels of the membership, particularly that third one if it goes ahead, because I'm talking about ADHD a lot. And remember, when I'm talking about ADHD, you don't need to have that specifically. It could just be that you procrastinate a lot and you delay on your plans, and you know, or whatever else, or you know, cluttery and blah blah blah, all different types of things. Or you know, you could be suffering from depression, or you could be in a dark night of soul and it's difficult to get the motivation to do things. It would still help you with all the different things that I can help people with in a group way. But basically, yeah, the point is what I was homing in on there. It's better if you've got ADHD if you can see stuff. Like you'll probably know that about the fridge. Like if you can't see things in the fridge, it's very common that they'll go like you'll forget about them because you can't see them. It is a real thing. Like I know that about myself. So for instance, I don't tend to shove all the fruit and veg in the bit for the fruit and veg because I'll forget about it. Like I have it where I can see it. Um or actually this isn't a good example because for the past few months I keep leaving my fridge quite empty because it's like because I do fast like fairly regularly. I just find it's better if I just have like the bare minimum what I need, and then I don't, you know, and then I'm not going to be tempted. So that's anyway, so that's not good. Sometimes my fridge is, sometimes it's packed though, but sometimes, but more so than not it's not been. But yeah, you know, when it say it is packed, I would make sure it's like I can, the stuff that I know is going to perish first that I see it, or I'll forget about it. So again, I'm just sharing little wee bits and bobs here. But actually go back to the bedroom thing. I've got a rail, it's like a really short rail thing in my room that I've got my nice white hangers on, and you know, I always visualize like, oh, I want to have like my nice summer dresses or my wee, you know, my summer trousers and stuff or whatever, or my wee vests and stuff, like just hanging there so that they're there just like, you know, when I go a walk or whatever. And it's like I always visualize that every year. And I think I've done it once, you know what I mean? I've lived here years, you know, quite a long time. But I done it today. I thought, yeah, I'm actually just gonna, and it's not, again, it didn't take long. So it's just, you know, I feel what they're saying is some of the things that you felt you've had a vision for, but you've not been doing anything about it, you might be easily finding yourself actually doing it. So again, I'm using small examples, but this could be with bigger things in your life. You might find things coming together. So, right. So anyway, that reminded me because it was saying about the wardrobe. Consider each object. Is it aesthetically pleasing or useful? Ideally both, like what I've just said. If it is of some sentimental value, keep it, but also be aware of any hoarding tendencies. Have a little look into hoarding on a deeper personal level if you notice that that may be the case. Again, if that bit really speaks to you, that is my lifelong obsession. Like I said, I'm not kidding when I say one of my books will be about clutter and the emotional effects, and obviously with a shamanic aspect and everything. It fascinates me. It fascinates me noticing and make, and I do keep journals on that over the years within myself, but also with I've helped many people in their physical homes or like through Zoom with things like this. Also awkward corners of space where the energy cannot flow to the room. Again, feng shui, the chi. You might even be inspired to explore feng shui. Yeah, like see, this is what happens all the time. I've spoke about it and then it's speaking about it. So, and I didn't know. I don't know. I think I have read this one before on here before, but it was months ago. Bringing some plants into space is a good idea too, especially in areas that feel a bit lackluster. So, the energy of clothing. This may sound funny, but when you buy clothes or accessories, ask yourself, does it make me want to do a happy dance when I wear it? Does this practice has honestly transformed my wardrobe and style? If the answer is no, are you buying it because it's cheap or fashionable in a way you don't entirely vibe with, or do you feel like shopping for the sake of it? That's very important, actually. Asking this question is a cute way of discerning quality, how great you feel when you wear that thing over quantity. Having hundreds of items that are not super inspiring or making getting dressed in the morning more of a mission. Um, it's a way of streamlining your life and applies to other things too. It's a nice reminder of the material objects you have in your life so you can feel grateful for them. For things you no longer need, do clothing swaps or take them to thrift stores, charity shops for us, or give them away. It's also worth noting that buying cheap appliances or items that can't easily be fixed is more expensive in other ways. It means more of these items end up in the landfill and you will need to rebuy them anyway. If necessary, find stores where payments can be broken down over time periods so you can purchase something that may cost more but is a reliable quality. Try to opt for the most energy efficient. They are usually marked with a star or a letter rater. Okay, she's going on about. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. Loved ones in spirit. Have awareness around how and where they're made. All right, she's just going on about all that shit. Let's read the abundance one now. So, 12. And basically, I feel this. Feel your feelings. I just opened the book up at Feel Your Feelings. That's Cancer season. Are you aware? Oh, but look, are you aware of your emotional body? And look, that is. It was a short bit of that, but that's what. Actually, that was a short bit. I think I was gonna. I think I was gonna stay with that longer. Let's go back into that. If you want to do this, let's close our eyes again. And we've already detached from the old death energy. Just connect with what do you think that was all about? That place that you've energetically cleared in your mind that you're going to actually tidy up. What do you think that was connected to in your body? Just, you don't need to have all the answers here, but just get still for a moment and tune in and see, see if you start to get an awareness of what that was connected to. So I'll just stay quiet for a few moments while people do that. Right. Okay. So you may or may not have got an impression of what that was connected to, but because I've got you to imagine it and you haven't actually done it yet, I feel that's what they're saying is after you tidy it, because you are gonna, only if you want to, and then you can even visualize yourself coming back and be like, I done it, I tidied the bit that was messy, or whatever. Or even just say it to me in the email, whatever it is, like then take a moment yourself to do that, to ask what that was all about. Okay, right, open your eyes again. Right, I think that's why they got me to stop at that card. Right, so we're going to read this one, and then I'm going to just leave that at this because it's I wanted to do the next live stream at 9, and it's 5 to 9. So, and I've been quite good with my time today. So, because I'm basically trialing doing daily 15-minute readings for like the twin flame therapy. So I'm not saying I'm going to stick to them only being 15-minute forevermore. When I can do a longer one, I will. But I think that fits in better with me doing the live streams the way I've been doing it. And then at least I'm doing that. So, but anyway, you'll see what I mean. I'm like I said, I'm not running for a walk because I only done tomorrow's. So, um, right. So, crystalline abundance, align with knowing all your needs are met. Embodiment. This card prompts you to remember that you're safe and that you can drop survival based fears. You are supported by the universe, even if it is in ways that you can't see yet. Do you know what you need to do in the physical to ensure all your needs are met? But what? Do what you need to do in the physical to ensure all your needs are met. But drop any external unnecessary mind noise and concerns about the ifs and buts, which I feel we've already done with what we've done before. This card reminds you of your abundance. It also invites you to list the things that you're grateful for in your life. In this instance, highlighting anything physical that enhances your human experience. These can be seemingly mundane but important aspects, including things that simply make you smile. Know that you have all that you need in each moment. Relax into knowing if it is all there. Crystals are comprised of strong geometric structural qualities. You might wish to draw inspiration from the theme of structure if you wish to intuitively read between the lines. Right. Gratitude for greater alignment. Take a moment to consider all the ways in which you already have abundant wealth. List all the things you have that make your life more comfortable. So you can either make a mental note of that right now, or you can grab any wee scrap bit of paper and start writing it now, or journal, you do you, boo. Consider a time when maybe you didn't have what you do now and how abundant and grateful you feel comparatively. Now, that's quite interesting because, I am more of a mental note. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say most of the time I'm more of a mental note person because I tend to be reflecting on it as I'm doing the channeling, whether it's in public like this or my membership groups that, like I said, I've had for years and years and years. When it's more involved like that, we'll be able to tell you that. Like, particularly, I'm more thinking of when I've ran like a course, like say over like a month or a couple of months or 3 months. I think 3 months was the longest one that I ran before. But obviously, I've done memberships that are like, more intensive, like over a year or 2 years and stuff. Um, that yeah, I'm not much of a journaler in that way. I do tend to do it as I'm channeling it, but there are some things that's handy to write things down. So you'll know how you are, but I can think of like something I was talking about during this, where that's actually it's all connected. There was something that I done the tapping about for me, and it helped me shift it, clear the energy, and shift the energy so much that I was able to shift my mindset so much to believe that something was possible that then that did actually happen in my physical environment. But it was only because I cleared the energy and did choose to believe that something was possible rather than it not being possible. So again, see how you could apply that to your own life or something without, there's no need for you to know what I'm talking about because I tell you enough about my life, but just trust me, that's something I'll never forget. And I think it's quite funny because I think they're actually not allowing me to tell you because it is something I would want. Yeah, it's something that it's I've got to save some shit for when I write a book kind of thing. But I've got loads of things. I've had loads of shifts that have happened for me personally that I could write a book about or that I've helped others with. And I've got enough to tell you as well. But so yeah, just think about what I'm saying about with all these things that have come through. If you're needing some sort of mindset shift that you just cannot, you just feel like you're completely blocked. You feel like I'm always going to be this way. I'm always going to think like this. I'm not going to be able to think positively. I'm going to, because the other card was the law of attraction. Law of attract. I'm just going to attract shitty things, shitty people in my life, shitty situations. If there's a choice of like me being with what I really want or me being settling for something else, I'm always going to be stuck settling with the thing I didn't really want. And again, that is, I'm not talking about love with this. Like this can be loads of different areas of life. I wanted that job more than I wanted this one, but that'll do. That pays the bills. That's a dream come true. Or I wanted that house more than I wanted this one, but I'll. It's more realistic to get the other one. Or because they're making me give that example because I've shared this before that it was actually a text, but I did screenshot it. But it was one of my closest friends that I told with that was it was something similar. It was something similar. It was just because I've had this with clients too, but it just happened. Actually, I've had that with a couple of friends, but for one person in particular, it was that basically it was exactly kind of like what I'm saying, like, oh, I don't know if we're going to get that house because there's like so many other people in the running for it. And I was kind of like, well, you're not going to get it if you think like that, you know what I mean? And we did a bit of work around visualizing getting actually that's, sorry, the alarm just went off. I don't think you hear it. It's quite loud though, because I put the batteries, see how when I was on the live the last time, the battery ran out and now I've changed it. So again, that's about needing to recharge. So you might need to recharge your batteries, or you might have already recharged your batteries because I've recharged mine, and that's why I'm better. And then I put the actual batteries back in. But yeah, what I'm thinking of actually is it was we'd actually done. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know if it was specifically tapping that I done with her. It might have been though. It actually might have been. I think it was. I think it was tapping, but whatever it was, a mixture of the shamanic healing, soul retrieval, NLP. I weave it all in to be my own. But the point was, what I'm talking about, that was actually work wise, and she got her dream job. So she didn't just get a job; she got her dream job right after it, right? And then it was later on down the line, she was talking about a house, and then I just basically, it's like you're topping it up, but I can do it really informally. Like I was just around hers, and I was talking about, I was like, well, and yeah, you know how this goes. She then got the dream house, so she got the dream job, and then she got the dream house. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Somebody needed to hear that wee story. Right. Perhaps you're being invited to remember where wealth matters most. Give gratitude for the things you do have. Cultivate the feeling of abundance by recalling how abundant you already are. By shifting our focus, we create more of the feelings we feel. Again, with that, I know I said I was going to fit with a minute. I'll just add a wee bit more time. It's not too much more, but I was thinking about this earlier, and it might come up in the next live stream that I do. Like literally, just I'm going to come off and come back on again. But it must have been like right. It must have been the day after. I don't think it was the day before. I think it was the day after the live stream that I'd done for the New Moon in Cancer. I felt like shit. Now I'm just trying to remember. I don't know if it was before or after. I feel like if it was before, I would have already told the story, but maybe not. Maybe I was still processing. I usually process things quite quick. It depends. I process things quite quickly. Sometimes I take a while. But anyway, the point was, whenever it was, it wasn't. It was only a few days ago, and I don't feel like that now. And it was because I basically allowed myself to be feeling like that, which was feeling like shit. And I feel the point in me saying this, they're getting me to say that because it was like that's what I started making a mental note of. I started thinking back to I actually just started like thinking of all the things I am great. Exactly what that said actually. I just started thinking of all the things in which I am really lucky or really grateful and the things I do have rather than thinking about the things I don't have and what I'm not happy about. And it did make me feel better. Fun short story there, but like it kind of seemed a bit pointless there. But And when did I ever speak like that? You know what I mean? That's how somebody's thinking right now. Because it's never pointless because they're making me say this stuff. But that's I'm picking up on, because it did help me. It did help me to do that, and it did shift my focus and it shift my mindset and it made me feel better. And astrology helps me too, because like I said, the new moon in Cancer, the water moons in general, I just don't like very much. Not as people, just as when the moon's there. Right. So what have we got then? To just wrap this up. Manifest. See, I don't like saying see, but when you clear the energy, you clear the clutter, the mind, body, spirit, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial clutter, you can manifest more. Manifest your dreams and watch them materialize. Be willing to work on the inside to make manifestation possible. Make your intentions clear. That's amazing. Like, that's amazing that they just made me pick up that deck. And look, what's even more amazing, some of you were clearing the clutter for love. Love, 33, come to Jesus moment. Your relationship with yourself and others needs reassessing. Open up to love. What? Open up to love others by unblocking negativity. We just done that. Embrace love without fear. Make it unconditional. Well, that's what twin flames are all about. But some people tuning into this, you might not be in a twin flame dynamic. You might be a twin flame in a karmic dynamic. True story, that could be the case for many people tuning in, but hopefully you'll know. What else? Because it's 3 minutes past 9, so I kind of want to start the live. What else? So yeah, I really do hope that this, like I said, this more feels like a collective healing session rather than, again, but just know the loved ones in spirit always coming to help with that, and the ancestors and the guides and the power animals and all that. But yeah, it was what it was, and it feels like it was what was needed. So let me know if it helped. What else? I wonder if the pray card is going to come out. I did kind of feel that. Oh my god. Do you know what's even weirder? That exact order came out on one of these. Now, this was months ago. If I used it on the thumbnail, that would be quite interesting and helpful, because it might be that whatever I channeled in that Mediumship Monday could be manifesting now. Look, I remember pulling it. For some, you're decluttering on all levels to leap to your destiny. It's time to leap out of the darkness and into the light filled with positivity. Destiny. We all have a destiny and paths to follow. It's time to move forward. I mean, what the fuck? What the duck? Do you know what I'm saying? And that's quite interesting, because on the shorts for today, I said that today could be a bit of a what the duck moment because it had ducks on the thing. So yeah, I think a lot of you are decluttering your past to leap forward to your destiny, whatever that means to you. And then all the roses around are reminding me of the Mary Magdalene energy. Oh god, I thought I was going to get through a live without mentioning. Didn't happen. I have got those cards here, but where are they actually? They are somewhere. I saw them. So wait a minute. Leap to your destiny. I think I'll probably use the other, but interesting. Right, guys, I'm going to hop off of this and come back on because, yeah, the thought of sitting here for a couple hours actually isn't too exciting to be like, oh, that's a nice thumbnail. Except there's one bit of hair out of line. That's really annoying. Like there's a tiny hair that was sticking up. We'll deal with it. At least the hair. Can you see how I've aged backwards? My hair is dark again, rather than the shades of grey that were peeking in. Although I'm not being funny. I actually kind of like I was getting a glimpse into my destiny, and I was like, I'm kind of digging that grey hair. Like I'm not digging it enough that I'm going to roll with it yet. Like I'm at least, I think I'm 10 years off it. I just like saying 10 years about everything. Have you noticed? Even when I'm telling a story, sometimes I'm like, oh, I was like 10 years ago, and I'm like, wait a minute, that was not 10 years ago. That was like 15 years ago now. But yeah, I think I'm going to hold off for 10 years, 5 years feels like too soon. Maybe like 7, 8 years. I don't know. But I'm going to embrace it at some point. But it's going to be a bit of a. Sometimes I watch these shorts that are about hair and people that do these grey transitions and that, and it's like I was just looking to see if anyone would let me speak to myself for like an hour and a half. You remember when that happened before? We'll not drag that up. We'll declutter that memory. Spoke to myself for 40 minutes if you're new. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Without the mic on. People were here. Yeah. That's the proof that I've got haters, guys. As if we needed any more proof, or very shy people. But anyway, kind of joking, but just getting in there. That's the Virgo moon being per Nikki. It's true. I'm just telling the truth. Anyway, yes, I'm going to end this now. So I will see you in a few minutes on the Virgo 6th house live stream, and it might just be an hour, but it could also be 2 hours. We'll just see. I'll see you in a minute if you're coming. But yeah, I hope this helped people, and definitely come back and put it in the comments. Come on. People need to start leaving comments. And thank you if you already do. And I still love and appreciate you if you don't leave comments, but you know what I'm saying. Thanks, Claire. Lots of decluttering for me. Oh, thank you, Diane, for talking. Because if you didn't talk, I would have been talking to myself the whole time. So, not to myself, because I know people do watch it and they don't like to talk or it's on the replay. But right, see you in the next one.